Incompetence Pod.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Bear witness as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We'll have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm true believer and poetic soul, Mike Collin.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi, Master of Wind, and the Songsmith, Dan Collin.
And I'm Future Corpse, Travis Brabin. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I would love to go first.
Great.
So, yeah. So last time, Mike had mentioned that making music is something that was something that we're all fairly comfortable with, and it was a challenge, but it wasn't something that challenged us.
Nice. Very well.
So I wanted to find something that would make us uncomfortable. Basically, we need to get out of our comfort zone. And one thing that makes me very comfortable is looking at various sized screens all day.
Sure.
A computer screen, a phone screen, a television screen. And I spend the vast majority of my life at this point in my life looking at screens. So my challenge is to not do that and to focus on other things that are real in the world, such as going outside and I don't know, something besides looking at screens.
Read a book.
Read a book, for goodness sake, but like, and I think like we could also, focus on what other things we can do besides that. But obviously we have to work at our jobs. We have to look at screens all day and computer screens. I think all three of us for our jobs, we have to look at computers all day. So
that is correct.
We would not be able to stop that, but I think it would be who could have the least amount of recreational screen time. It would be
That's
the challenge.
Good qualifier.
Yeah.
Do I'm guessing I think I know the answer, but do video games count as recreational screen time?
Yes.
So
unless it's unless it's creating a video game.
Okay, sure.
That's different.
So we would all have to kind of pay attention and track the amount of time we spend looking at screens.
Yeah, that's not like non-productive screen time.
Okay.
And we could say like the smallest amount of time that you could accumulate would be like 1 minute. So we're not doing seconds. It would just be if you look at your phone, it's a minute.
Yeah, I mean like reading a text message or something like that. I would say that would almost not even count. If you get a phone call or something, but scrolling through like Reddit or watching a YouTube video is not allowed. What's allowed? You just
like
it's
TVs
whoever
and movies and all that jazz.
Right.
Okay.
None of that. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, that would be good for me. I know
it'd be good for because I get home from work and then I just put YouTube on sometimes and then that's my night. you know.
Yeah. I mean, Mike is fond of describing it as falling down the Y hole because YouTube has just endless content.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was actually very similar to one that I had thought about proposing today. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good.
Why don't you tell us yours?
Yeah. So I was thinking I've been kind of on a health kick as lately. I started doing jujitsu. I'm down like 10 pounds, which is pretty good.
Nice.
Uh,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. So I was thinking one of the things that I struggle with maintaining a healthy amount of in my life is sleep. Like I'm real bad at getting 8 hours of sleep. I would say my average is about 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And then like
That's
one
pretty
10 hour
bad.
day. Yeah, it's real
Yeah,
bad.
that's not good.
And then like one 12-hour day when my
Yeah.
body gives out on me. so so anyway, my challenge would be to get a minimum of 8 hours of sleep every night for the 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the winner would be the person who sticks to that the best, or maybe just gets the most sleep.
The
Okay.
most sleep.
Yeah,
I
just the
like.
most.
I don't mind that challenge.
Well, yeah.
Just
That
buy some NyQuil at Walgreens and
That the only problem with this one is I know Dan kind of stays up pretty late. Travis, I think you have a more or less fairly healthy sleep schedule, unlike
sort of.
me. He's like, I often
yeah,
come to
I
work and like,
definitely.
oh man, I got 2 hours of sleep last night, and then I got it's 10 hours of work or whatever it is. So.
Well, honestly, so it's funny because the reason that like I'll stay up late on a night that I need to wake up is because like I'm just like staring at YouTube videos all night. So I feel like my challenge would actually probably fix the problem of me not getting enough sleep.
It definitely would improve it for me as well, I would say, because that's
I think
usually
you
what I'm
you
doing.
might be onto something there though, Dan. Is that uh, Mike? We sort of talked about this, and this might have been what kind of led you to your current tack. But last week, Mike, you mentioned that human beings, or at least modern people, have drifted so far away from like a natural circadian rhythm,
Yeah,
as far as like letting your day be dictated by the sun,
yeah.
as far as when you go to bed, when you wake up. And I think that I haven't done the research, but I think people have mentioned that phones sort of throw off your circadian rhythm, and they make like the blue light filters or whatever. But I think both your ideas are kind of along the same tack, which is okay. We'll have to pick one. But let me throw mine in here, and then we'll hash it out. So we've developed sort of some themes on this podcast as far as the challenges that we do. We do some kind of mental themes as far as the contemplating death and changing the way we think about things. We do some of the fun ones, the poetry, the song making, stuff like that, and then we do some physical ones. And I think that we've gotten a little bit soft with our songs and our poetry, so I think we need to endure some pain. So my submission in this one would just be who can climb the most steps. Highest number wins.
Oh
Who
man.
can do the most steps? Not just like walking, I mean vertical steps, going upstairs.
Okay. That's like stairs, like
Yeah.
yeah, going
Yeah.
up in the air.
Does
Yeah.
going down steps count?
Nope.
Just
I thought
going
about
up.
that. And I think it just from a counting perspective, it'd be easier to just count when you go up. But yeah, I think just like a straight through, just a number. You count every time.
We are getting soft.
Yeah. We've talked about it before, but like maybe it's a life goal at this point. Like, wouldn't it be great to be able to climb a few flights of stairs and not be winded at the top?
I don't think that's a realistic goal. I think that's an illusion. That's driven by the step lobby, you know.
Yeah, big
So
stairs.
Yeah,
fun,
big stare. Yeah.
big the elevator people are keeping us
Uh,
down.
Yeah, or bring us up conveniently.
Yeah. It's I used to work in a building. I worked on the 14th or the 15th floor, and for like 6 months, I made an effort to never use the elevator. So I would go
Nice.
up 14 or 15 flights of stairs like 3 or 4 times every day.
Oh,
Jeez. Good for you.
And it was very, very, very rough at first, but then after a while, it was like nothing. And I was probably the healthiest I'd ever been in my life at that point because of the stairs.
Yeah.
That's a pretty legit thing.
Yeah, that's what I want. I mean, it's a kind of a secret way into improving your cardio, but like leg muscles don't get worked out that as much as they should. Yeah, and it's easier on your body than cardio and easier to quantify. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my submission.
That's
All right.
that's pretty good. My vote I think is going to be against that one. Here's why. Well, because I've actually started making an effort to be physically fit, and I feel if I add another one, I'm going to die. So,
Sure.
Well, I don't want you to die.
but that's really just because I really don't want to do that one. So I guess I am getting pissed off. Actually, I guess between me and Dan's I think you guys might be right. Like if we stop looking at screens, I think I would probably be a sleepy boy, much more likely.
I'm solidly wanting to do mine heavily.
All right, let's do yours then.
All right. Yep.
Yes, that's the first time you guys picked mine.
Hey, congratulations. We normally pick Travis's, actually.
I know. I picked Travis like the last 5 times. I think.
Yeah.
Yep, and here's me and dead last and point on the scoreboard.
So
but
he's gonna take.
we pick my challenges, so that's good.
I mean, I still might try to walk up more steps. I probably should do that.
No,
I
you
take
should
the-
wait so we can do it a future time.
So he can suffer. He suffer with the rest
Yeah.
of us.
You do whatever you want to do. It all makes sense. Some quantifiers. So, any television, anything recreational. Because sometimes, at the end of the day, Holly and I will watch TV or whatever. So we will not be reading books or listening to books, maybe.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I guess like an audio medium would like you could listen to podcasts or music or whatever. I think just looking at a screen recreationally.
that's actually I do that when I'm being a healthy person. Sometimes I'll listen to an audiobook or something in the evening instead of watching TV. So it does it's much more chill,
Well, and you're also if you have a screen going, you're locked into it.
Yeah.
You have to look at it.
Yeah.
So you have to be within viewing range of it. But if you're listening to something, you I'll put on a podcast or I'll just put on a Spotify playlist or something. Then I'll put my phone in my pocket so it follows me around the house as I'm cleaning or whatever,
Yeah.
But then I'll be oh, maybe I'll put on a movie or something, and then I'm locked, and then I'll sit down,
And
and
that's
then I stop doing anything productive.
Yeah, that's the rest of your night then. Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. All right. I'm into it. That's it. So
All right. Is there the idea just occurred to me. There must be an app that we can install that'll measure the amount of time we spend looking at various apps, right?
Probably.
Maybe
That sounds like Big Brother watching over our shoulders, though. I don't know if I like that.
and also
Well, I mean, that would be an easy way to quantify the time spent looking at certain apps over the next 2 weeks.
yeah. So I think is the metric going to be the least amount of time? So basically, we need to if we sit down to watch something brainless we need to start writing down the time that we start and the time that we stop, more or less.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
If we get a stopwatch type thing, or I don't know. When you get to the nitty gritty of it, it's kind of hard to measure.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
An app might be easier to do, but then again, we could do the honor system, but then you'd have to track I looked at my phone. That's a minute or whatever, which we can do, but it becomes maybe bring a pocketbook. It's check that down.
Carry a little one of those little tiny notepads.
It'd
Yeah,
be
like
kind of
a
funny
little
if you,
pocket stopwatch. He's like, pull it out, time
well, it'd
yourself.
be kind of funny, like, I often will sit and scroll my phone, while I'm doing a twosy, and
I was literally just thinking
like
that,
it'd
like,
be funny if you like step out of the bathroom at work and look at your stopwatch and done,
And
make a
time.
note of that.
Yes, write that down real quick. Kind of
Well, and
wink at the guy that's washing his hands.
like, and I'm not really expecting any of us to completely avoid it, like I can't imagine myself going 2 whole weeks without sitting and watching a movie, but
I know you're just trying to bait us into going on there so you can win again. I'm not going to fall for it, man. Mr. 4-minute breath hold.
I mean, yeah, I think I think the honor system, like,
we have
the
to
more
we have to the it's got to be the honor system because I'm not going to be watching you guys. So,
All right.
well, yeah,
but yeah,
All right.
I think the more accurate you are, so you have to put out your best effort to be accurate with your time. Then,
yeah.
Okay. So let's say,
And I think a matter of seconds probably isn't worth
yeah.
no, let's do
paying attention
let's do
to.
minutes.
But if you
Yeah.
do something, even if you look at, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, for a few seconds, I think you have to chart that as a minute. The minimum unit of measurement is a minute, and if you do anything under that, it rounds up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the honorific going to be for this one?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Could be like the something of time, like because you're saving time.
Or like
The Chancellor of Time.
or like the reality
Raja.
yeah.
I was thinking something about being freed from screens or escaping the clutches of, post-consumerism America, but not that.
Okay. How go ahead and put that into a catchy little
I'm thinking about it. It's doing here.
I like the like the one with the shackles broken, no longer the slave of the screen.
But not that. What are
But
you
the
if you're not
opposite.
a slave to the screen?
You're the
Awakened drone?
awakened.
Oh, hold on. Who's the Spartacus of screens, because he led a slave revolution.
The Spartacus of screens.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's quite famous. There's a movie about him, I am Spartacus. They all
How
stand
about
up
just
and do
Spartacus?
that. Just
Screenacus?
Screenacus.
That's a stretch. I guess it's fine.
Oh, that's dumb.
It sure is, yeah. I mean, Mike likes it.
I mean, it's fine. We could do it.
It's
Screenacus.
I don't know. It's straight. It's so dumb. It's really funny.
Screenacus.
We
have to choose it now. We probably could do better.
We could probably do better than that.
What's another word for screen? Tube. How about we just make it I am Screenacus?
Let's we can cut here. Let's think for a second.
How about okay. So it's called the boob tube, right?
Yep.
Yes.
How about the unbound boob?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
The the untethered titty.
Worse somehow.
Well, boob is it's using it as as an idiot, not as not as a breast.
The unbound boob. That's pretty good.
Trying to keep it PG. I know that boob is, multiple uses, but
Liberty. I'm just looking at synonyms of free. The liberated.
how unfortunate would it be if we couldn't do better than Screenacus?
I mean,
at this point, like, we have not done better than that.
whatever. Just
Screenacus. I vote yes.
Screenacus. It's Screenacus, I guess. All right. I guess. Boy, I think we need more sleep.
What's horrible about this is like tomorrow morning we'll probably think of a great one.
Oh, we're 100%. Probably when we're done recording, we'll be like, oh, you know what?
Yeah. Well, did we really go with Screenacus?
I hope you win this one, Travis.
I'm Screenacus.
Screenacus.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I guess
we got
I'm so disappointed in us.
Yeah.
So okay. So we have our metric. We have our honorific. What forecasts? I do not. I think I can do it. It's going to be difficult. I think Dan watches more videos and has more screen time than I do, though.
I literally
just because
that's all I do.
Yeah, at this point, like I think having kids might actually help us in this challenge.
That'll be nice
Yeah.
for once.
Yeah.
The only comfort, the only company I have in my house is my screens.
So now the company you'll have will just be overwhelming loneliness, Dan.
Yeah.
So
we'll just go with that.
I was gonna say that I'm actually kind of looking forward to this because like I might actually put a dent in my like 2-read bookshelf.
Ah, there you go.
Like if you look at your screen, like you can get a lot of reading done. Oh, but then I'll have to read actual books rather than like digital ones, but that's okay. I'll make that sacrifice. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This is gonna be a good time.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Screenacus.
Screenacus.
Stupid.
It's the dumbest. It's just the dumbest one. It's so funny. All right.
Hi, folks. While we're taking this break here, just wanted to stop and say thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the show, it's helpful if you leave a review or you comment or just tell your friends about the show. You can do that in a lot of ways, whatever's convenient for you. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You can shoot us an email. That works great, too. You can tell us what you're thinking about the show, or if you have any good ideas for challenges, we'd like to hear that as well.
Yeah, so if you want to send an email, we're at perpetualincompetence@gmail.com. All one word, no spaces or hyphens or anything. And then on Twitter, we are at incompetentpod. And Instagram, we're perpetual_incompetence. All these links will be in the show notes for the podcast, so that's probably the easiest way for you to find them and to reach out to us.
If you'd like to join us in the challenges, we'll be posting them to Twitter as soon as we start them. We try not to discuss the challenges with each other during the 2 weeks while we are actually doing them, so that we can save those juicy morsels for when we come back to discuss them on the show. So we would love nothing more than to hear about your guys' experiences, thoughts about the show, or just pop in to say hello. So if the spirit moves you, we'd love to hear from you. Anyway, back to the show.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've avoided recreational screen time as much as possible. Let's discuss our initial thoughts and lessons learned first, and then we'll reveal our times. Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first this time, Travis?
All right, that's fair. So I just have kind of a smattering of random thoughts. This challenge was not a fun time for me.
It was not fun.
It was not fun.
It was not fun at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll just kind of go through these. I don't have a logical order on some of this, but the minute we stopped recording the first half of this, I was like, all right, the challenge doesn't start till tomorrow. So I played Elden Ring until midnight, and I stopped. And it's like stopped at midnight, and I'm like, all right, no more screens for 2 weeks or whatever. And I was kind of excited because I thought that, I'm going to get a whole bunch of reading done, and 2 weeks isn't that long. And, we're always talking about how kids shouldn't be spending as much time around screens. So it'd be great to try it for myself. So I was pretty high on the whole idea, and it was going to be great. And for the first couple of days, it was more or less. So the next morning I woke up, had breakfast, got the kids food or whatever. And then I sat down, I was reading a book or whatever. And then my phone buzzed, and I looked at it. I looked just to see what it was. And then I realized it was like a notification for Twitter or something like that. So I was like, all right, not going to look at that. And then I went back to reading. And then it started to worm its way into my brain. Like, oh, I wonder what it is. It's like this cancerous kind of thoughts. I resisted the urge to look at the notification, but then I was just it had distracted me to such an extent that I dismissed it or whatever. But then you'd get another notification, and it's one thing to resist looking at it immediately, but you're already distracted and think about it, so it's already accomplished its goal. So it's I don't know, really. I don't know, maleficent's not the right word, but it's really sneaky how social media can really wheel its way into your brain. So I found that I could resist the initial impulse to read or check whatever it was, but it would still end up distracting me, so it had already accomplished its goal. So that wasn't great. I found that without looking, because usually we'll feed the kids will eat at the counter or whatever, and then Holly and I will get some food, and then we'll sit at my computer desk and watch something on YouTube while we're eating. During this challenge, we didn't do that. We actually sat and ate at our dinner table like normal human beings. So that was an interesting experience.
Is that?
Oh, you can chime in if you got some. I got more, but
well, I was just gonna say, I along those same lines, I just wanted to chime in. I felt like I was connecting to humans more, which including my children, instead of just kind of yeah.
So I laugh because I live alone, and I did not have that luxury.
And you also had something that prevented you from
I'll get into
venturing.
that, but I would like to have you continue. I'll tell you about my experience when I get
Dan was just staring longingly into a mirror, just
not far off, bro.
Just kind of quietly staring there, and eventually you're just, I hate you. You did this to me.
How could you do this?
All right, I'll get through mine because I'm excited to hear what Dan has to say. Overall, I found I did end up reading more books. I did some work on the game that we're working on. I was very productive these last few weeks. I completed like 3 books, and most of the way another one. We planted a garden. Spent more time playing with the kids, reading with the kids, all that stuff. So like there were genuine benefits that I noticed, and I actually we'll see how long we keep it going, but I made a rule in our household that going forward, I think every Monday and Thursday we're gonna do no screen time for anybody.
Oh,
Wow,
So kind
really?
of have like, yeah, I mean,
bold.
2 days a week, and it's not, separated throughout the week. Like it's pretty easy to do when it's in small doses. In big doses, it's not that fun, as as I think we all realized.
Yeah.
But as a couple days in, I was kind of realizing that when you're not watching stuff or playing games or whatever, you realize how much time there actually is in a day. Because
Yeah,
I found that
that's
like you can
true.
be so productive if you're not just
Yeah.
sitting down and watching stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of noticed the same thing.
I would say almost too much time in a day.
Sure. Yeah. It's also, we kind of anticipated this in the first part. It's pretty easy to go to bed on time when you're like reading a book and you get tired with like, you don't have the lights in your face or whatever. So I found that
Yeah.
I was going to bed like at, 10 o'clock or earlier almost every night.
Yeah. I yes. I noticed the same thing because there was this little thing that like happened in my head that was like, oh man, it's like Lindsay always goes to bed way before me, and I was like, well, I guess you know, I guess I won't do anything. I literally have nothing to do. I guess I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
Like this little conversation I have with myself every night for the past 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I'll say last Saturday, was a day that I really felt like watching something. It just like, after a week of not, watching or doing anything like that, I was ready to watch something and like had to resist because, we're doing this challenge, but it really settled in. And this last week, I'm glad that I was busy doing stuff because if, and I have a feeling that Dan can elaborate on the consequences of not being busy or, not being able to do things. But that was kind of my saving grace is that I had stuff to do, and that kind of made it tolerable for me. I did find that there's the hardest thing for me to resist, or like my kind of Achilles heel was it's hard to resist the urge to Google something immediately, like just like when you have like a random like
Yes,
yes,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
yes,
I was like,
100%.
yeah, that was honestly the worst thing because like I would be like talking to somebody and I would be and they would say like, I wonder if blah blah blah, and I'd be like, well, let me just Google that. Oh, nope, never mind. I
yeah.
guess that's just a mystery now. We
Yeah,
won't know, and we won't know for
You'll
another
never
2 weeks.
never
I
know.
started taking notes on paper to say like, well,
Yeah,
when I can use the internet again, look up this thing.
I feel like I'm
So
in like the 1800s. Like you just like, well, I don't know. I mean that could be. We'll
yeah,
never know because we don't have access to anybody who you know
yeah.
any
Yeah.
experts or Wikipedias
So yeah,
or
I
any of
I had
that
so much time
stuff.
on my hands these last 2 weeks. I wanted to improve my like piano skills because we just got done with our music challenge. And I was like, well, I can't watch YouTube videos, so I went to a library. Who knew that there was this place where there's free books and stuff that you can check out?
Oh, weird.
So yeah, I went to the library and was reminded how much value there is just in libraries that most people don't use. So that was cool. Let's see, other random thoughts. I ended up, I mentioned at the beginning of this that the notifications was like an initial barrier as a kind of an initial challenge for me. So, and I recommend everybody do this. I went in and turned off all notifications except for like the actual email and my like text messages or whatever. So I stopped getting bombarded with all these different, apps or whatever. And that was a big help for me because it was just, I stopped getting the annoying rumbles or whatever, and it stopped like interrupting my trains of thought. So that was a big help for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my big thoughts. I Holly and I wanted to have Japanese the other day, and I was going to go on Google and order it online, and I was like, wait, no, I will call. So I called a person and put in an order that way,
What like
which
like
they seemed surprised about, but we
using
got
your
it done.
voice?
Yeah.
Doesn't
What is
doesn't
this
make any sense.
phone?
Well, let me tell you about my experience.
Yeah.
Just because I think I was pretty similar to you, Travis. I well, I will say I was kind of sick all the first week, which kind of worked out in my favor because all I wanted to do was lay around, and I had just started a audio book. So it was I was quite content to just be sick, lay down on a recliner in my living room while everybody else was watching TV and listen to a book on tape, and that's basically all I did for the first week.
Hmm. What was the
And
book?
it was Oathbringer of the
Nice.
Stormlight Archive,
By Brandon
which
Sanderson.
is
And
a
it's great.
fantastic book. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Highly recommend it. It's the third one in the series, I believe. But anyway, so that was pretty good. When I kind of got my strength back, I I found that, well, the wife and the kids were still watching TV in the evenings and stuff like that. So I was just like cleaning up my house, and I organized my office a little bit. I did, and yeah, I was just being a productive human being, and then I found, like, since I had nothing else to do, I was like playing with the kids more. Or I
Hmm.
would say, I mean, I always play with the kids, but I was more engaged. I wasn't like,
Yeah.
like looking for something on my phone, and he's, coming up to me like, "Hey, Dad," blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, 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 So I was
Yeah.
actually
It's
like,
not like playing for 10 minutes and like, all right, I'm going to go watch something.
yeah,
Same time tomorrow. Cool. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so that was good. And then, so some things I did note as this was kind of going on. I Number one, we talked about it in the beginning of this episode, but I don't get a lot of sleep. And when I don't have YouTube to waste all my time with, I'm like getting normal amounts of sleep, more or less, maybe like 7 hours or so a night, which
Hmm.
is unheard of for me. So like every night I've been sleeping like a normal person, and that's been pretty great. I mean, I started doing working out more recently, so I've been sleepier than usual. So I think that played a part, but I wasn't staying up just wasting time, which is all I was doing before.
Hmm.
So that was good, and I felt like I've had more energy because of that. And on top of that, I think I feel like I've had a clearer mind, you know, um, when you're not just sitting staring at watching videos and like clicking around on screens. It's just kind of easier to think and kind of have be more focused, I guess, is would be the best description of it. So I thought that was a tangible difference.
Sure.
Um, so uh and so we tried doing some fun stuff with my wife. Like we were listening to a podcast together. We were listening to Sawbones, which is great. It's
Hmm.
like Justin McElroy and his wife. So it's like a married couple talking about medical history. So it's kind of nice. Me and my wife like to listen to it as a married couple. It works out.
There you
So,
go.
but which was good. We did that a few nights, and then at one point she was like, I'd like to hang out with you, but I kind of just want to sit and watch TV. So you go do something else.
Can I tell
So
you that Holly's mad at me because I told her she couldn't watch the shows that we usually watch together, and now she has to wait until tomorrow or whatever for us to watch them. So like Halo and Taskmaster have both had episodes come out, and like
yeah,
yeah, so now we have something to look forward to.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she hung in there with me for a little bit, and then she had enough, and then so I left to my own devices, which was fine. I continued listening to my book on tape. I got some Rick and Morty comic books that I ordered from Amazon, and I've been reading those as well. They're delightful.
I will say there's a definite like colonial vibe to like listening to a book, like because like Holly and I did the same thing where like we just like sat there after we put the kids to bed and just like listen to a book, and like she would usually like fall asleep shortly after, and it just like felt like you could just move and put us into like an old log cabin because like the level of technology that we were dealing with, like it just felt so I don't know, antique. So
Archaic.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word.
Yeah, I agree. I had kind of a similar thought. It was good though. I wouldn't say that's a bad vibe to have. It's much more relaxing, which is a good thing to have in the evenings because then you can kind of get better
Yeah.
rest, I think.
Yeah, and
So
it does lend itself towards getting, like you said, normal human sleep.
yeah, yes. And then the other thing of note. So I was hanging out with the kids, and like I said, I was sick, so I didn't really have the energy to hang out with them a whole ton that first week. So I
Hmm.
was in the living room, and I turned on the TV for them, but I'm like, well, I can't watch it. So while the kids were watching TV, I spun my chair around, and there's like a bookshelf right there, but it's all kids' books. So I was reading a bunch of kids' books to myself, but
You just
we also have like some photo albums and stuff, so I like looked through all our photo albums, which was actually delightful. So I really can't complain about any of that stuff. With
I mean,
that being said,
you put yourself in timeout is what you
yeah,
did.
yeah, that's that's accurate. Uh, so with all that being said, this was not fun. I definitely really missed my little screen friends that talk to me
Do you
and
think there was like improvement on your life in any way?
yes. Well, like I said, the sleep thing was a real tangible thing, and the clarity and focus of mind, I think, was a real tangible thing. I don't think that I need to completely separate myself from the my little magic box to get those same benefits. I can still watch some TV and stuff, but I think limiting it more would be good. But there are some things that we've gotten used to. That Google thing that you're talking about, Travis, that is a real that is a very we I super rely on that. And
It's a powerful force in your life, and there are times
Well,
when there are things
it's
that it's
like
great.
you have a question, you got an answer. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
Yeah,
I am
It,
so used to that.
yeah.
That is
Yeah,
but I
such a
mean,
part of my life now.
it's a problem, I would say, honestly, in 2022, where like you're like, I wonder if blah blah blah, and then you don't have an answer. You always have an answer. You got your phone, you
Yeah.
got Google. You just know the answer.
Out of all the
okay,
things, all the things
it
that I missed from this week, that is number one because
Yeah.
I'd be having conversations with somebody. I'm like, oh, or somebody might disagree and like, oh, I'm gonna shut this down. Just kidding. I guess we'll just let it sit in the
I
ether.
guess
yeah.
we'll just never know. Yeah.
So it can be a
Yeah.
problem, but it also, like, the things that I wanted to Google were like helpful things. I mean,
Yeah,
it certainly can be like just Googling who was the 17th president or whatever, but like
Yeah.
for me it was like food safe things, like how long to microwave eggs for, or like
Sure.
navigation things, like how do I get to this place, or
yeah,
those sort of things are very helpful, and that's I mean, obviously the benefit of having Google, but it does
yeah,
come to a detriment, especially I don't know, for me, Dan, you asked about if there was genuine value, and I think there absolutely was, if for no other reason than bring an awareness to like the effect that these screens can have on us, and like just the impulse of like Mike, we've talked about this before, but like whenever prior to this challenge, when I open up Chrome on my computer, like it's almost muscle memory. My like hand moves the mouse to where I know YouTube,
yeah,
Yeah.
the hyperlink to
yes,
YouTube is. So like I just like almost do it like instinctively. So like drawing an attention to that, and like, yeah, that's probably not healthy. And then,
yeah,
Yeah.
the stuff about like knowing how productive you can be if you're not just sitting in front of a screen. So
yeah.
I think
That
there's genuine benefit there.
that exact thing, what you're saying there, that bringing the awareness of the habit to you, like
Yeah.
for instance, I did this before we even started this challenge, but I took my YouTube link in my Mozilla Firefox that I use, and I just moved it to the bottom of the list that I go to like click on to look at fun stuff. And I found myself so many times clicking on that and going straight to where it would be. I'm like, oh man, this is bad. Just like I'll sit down on my
Yeah.
computer and that's the first thing I do. And it's the same thing when we started this. Like I go down, I like sat down on a toilet somewhere and I pull out my phone, I turn it on, and I'm just sitting there staring at it like,
Yep.
oh no.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a haircut a few days ago. And I was like sitting there waiting to get a haircut. And like, what do I do with myself?
Yeah.
Like, I just like stand there and look at people.
I would say I don't. However many times, I would say at least the first week that I answered a text message or sent a text message immediately, I would click on Reddit on the Reddit
Yeah.
app,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, nope, 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 and then I close it immediately. I'd be like, holy cow! Like it's not even like like I don't even think about it. It's just that's what I do.
it just
That's where my
happens.
thumb
Yeah,
goes.
Yeah.
It's instinctive.
Yeah. And honestly, at this point, it doesn't happen anymore because I've been like, no, 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 we don't do that now. You
I'm
know?
in charge here.
but like, holy cow! Like, how many like if I think back to like years, probably like 3 years since I've started using Reddit, like I use a text message, I answer or respond or anything, and then I immediately click on Reddit. That's just what I do. And I was
Yeah,
just
man.
like, wow, I can't not do that.
Yeah. It's
But like I have to, and like every time I do it, I click on it. I'm like, no, 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 no. Oh God, no. What am I doing? It's insane. It's not even like a thought. That's just what happens.
yeah, it's wild,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Just your brain, just the power of habit is
Yeah.
insane.
All right, Dan,
So
lay it on us.
Dan,
Tell us your story.
I
Oh my
want to
God.
hear, because I just tell anybody listening. So we took a hiatus for 1 hour so that we could have a weekly meeting that we do, and I just asked Dan how he was doing, and it's just like I hate this. I hate this so much. It was a broken man on the other.
Let me tell you my journey, my
Tell us.
story here. Well, so this was my challenge. This is what I brought to the table. I thought, well, okay, I will admit that this is something that I like. Screen addiction. I don't know. That's probably a thing, right?
Definitely is, yeah.
I definitely
Absolutely, yeah.
100% have that. I am on Reddit and YouTube, and I don't really do Facebook or anything, but like Reddit and YouTube are basically all I ever do.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to stop doing that. And also like Netflix and Disney Plus and all
Yeah,
of those,
streaming
all of
and
the
all the
movie
things.
things.
Yeah.
So initially I thought I was like, this would be really interesting and kind of, it was kind of exciting. Like, I'll just like stop doing that. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. And I had really high hopes. And so like I went and I was doing it and like, what do we do it on Sunday? So then like I went to work
Yep.
on Monday, and I was kind of feeling a little bit sick at work, and so I got a COVID test, and then I found out, oh no, I have COVID. So that sort of turned everything a little bit on its end. So starting on Tuesday last week, I was at my house alone. I live by myself. I was at my house alone. And I couldn't look at any screens. I couldn't watch any movies or play any video games, which is what I do. That's my thing that I do, and I couldn't do it. And I would also like to say that one of the first things I did was texted my loving and caring brother, Mike Collins, and what he texted me back was, "Ha ha, that sucks."
Brothers.
So that was uplifting. I'm fine. I'm fine. It wasn't bad. I did all right. So there's this episode. Have you guys ever seen the TV show Love, Death and Robots? It's this show on Netflix.
I'm
It's pretty
aware
great.
of it, but I haven't watched it.
Well, so there's this episode where this gal, she's like, she gets spun out into space, and she's just like floating in the like away from her space station. She doesn't know what to do, and she's completely lost contact with Earth and everything. And that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
So I
Go
was
on.
just sort of floating around. I did a lot of so I generally kind of had my phone and I was playing podcasts. And I was just sort of trying to laugh, but I did a fair amount of staring at the wall and talking about how much this sucked. I literally said out loud, like, "Man, this sucks." I said that a lot. I didn't realize that I said it a lot until I had said it quite a bit. So
Yeah,
I did some yard work. I bought a new house last fall, and I did a bunch of yard work. I've been at war with dandelions, you know. I also had COVID, so I was incredibly fatigued. So I would do maybe half a days of work, and then I would sleep. But you wouldn't really sleep, so I tried to read books. I did read through all of the what is it called? The
I need more information.
The Bible.
there's a book series by Douglas Adams.
Oh,
Oh,
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I read through all the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books, which is great. But you know, the thing is, like, reading books is like, you know, it's like,
Slow.
it's like reading books is like, you know,
he was,
Wait, are you
hold on.
saying
It's
that
like,
reading books is bad?
it's like fine, but it's like,
You know, books are.
it's
Oh,
like,
hold on, sir. I disagree with you here.
I don't know, books are fine, but it's like, you know, I mean,
I think you need to
it's
read better
like,
books.
I don't know. It was like, it's fine. I read through. I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide. They were great. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I guess I enjoyed it.
You should ask for some recommendations. I
also
could give you
have-
some books that would really
I
help.
have all of the Tintin comics. I don't know if you guys know those. Well, Mike, I know you do, but
yeah,
like,
I'm
I
actually
have all of
planning
them.
A Captain Haddock tattoo. Got it planned out.
Heck yeah! So I read all the Tintin comics. And you know, it's fine, but it's like, I don't know. God, I just wanted to watch a movie. So like last Friday came, and I would say that I hit a breaking point, and that's you know, I had been completely alone, completely isolated in my own house, trying to find stuff to do, reading books. And
I can't believe you
then
hate books.
books are fine. I don't know.
Books are amazing.
Yeah. And so what I'm trying to say is that that TV show that I was talking about, Love, Death and Robots, is awesome. It's a really great show, and season 3 came out last week, and I did watch the entirety of season 3. Which
Sure.
is 2 hours and 20 minutes, which I did log, and it was great, and I don't regret it.
I don't blame you,
And
man.
I was
get it.
mad at
yeah.
I was mad at the world. I was mad at myself for coming up with this challenge, but I did it, and it happened. Okay.
I relapsed, and I'm sorry.
And but the thing is, I woke up the next morning and I was like, okay, let's maybe you, I don't know if you guys watched any movies, but I was like, that's it, that's all I'm gonna do. So it literally got easier after that, and I discovered something that would take up a lot of, so okay, this is something that I had, this is the biggest problem I had with this challenge, is like at a certain point I was just trying to waste time, which is like bad, because like if I'm gonna waste time, I should just like sit and stare at a screen, which is bad. Like, I shouldn't be wasting time, but that's what I was looking for, and I don't know how to really. I feel like I might have missed something here, but I love this game called Magic the Gathering, and I have thousands of cards of Magic cards. And what I did was I opened them all up and I started playing with my Magic cards and sorting them and playing with them. And that took up about a whole another week of doing that, and I had a lot of fun doing that. It was a lot of
There you
fun,
go.
and I didn't have to look at a screen. I did turn my phone on, because I could do like I could have a life counter for 2 different teams, so I could play 2 decks against myself.
Oh man.
Oh.
And that's what I did for like
I
a
will say
week.
I came right up on the edge of I have Stardew Valley, the board game, and I like I was on the verge of playing a tabletop board game with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
That's
ended up getting it all set up and then like started reading the instructions for like going through turns, and I'm like I'm bored, but I'm not that bored. So
I mean,
uh,
that's I feel like that's where I got, I don't know.
I
It's
will say
funny,
that like we talked about the amount of time you end up like having. Like I got off work today at 4:30, and I came home, made myself dinner, did the dishes, and then like cleaned up the house. And then now we're doing this. Like when you're not watching TV, like there's so much time, and like you said, maybe too much.
Yeah,
So
well,
maybe there's
okay. So I did do a lot of wall staring and a lot of swearing at myself for coming up with this challenge, but I also did a lot of yard work, and I also
Mhm.
That's
did
good
a
for
lot
you.
of like house rearranging furniture and that sort of thing. But I don't I don't know if I did any more than I normally would have, if I'm going to be honest. And looking back, I am not happy with this challenge. I don't think it was a productive thing in my life. And
That's
I'm
fair.
and I feel like we're becoming closer to the people in chairs in Wall-E, but you know what? This is 2022, and the real world can be pretty flippin' boring. Um but the world of screens is pretty wonderful, and like there's a lot to explore and a lot to learn. And I'm backtracking on this, and I'm thinking that screens are the way to go. And you can try to you can contradict me, but
Uh,
I'm saying that this is a mistake and that we should look at screens more. In fact, I should look at screens more than I normally would have. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about this.
I think we're seeing Dan live
I had
long
a
enough to see
bad
himself become the
experience.
villain.
uh,
Yeah, I think you
Anyways,
just need to find better books. I think that'll solve all your problems.
I don't know. They were pretty good
I
books. I'll say I did
I
enjoy
will
them.
say having a wife and kids made this significantly easier. Like
Yeah.
there were moments when I was like, "Oh man, I just want to sit and watch a movie," but I was content to sit and listen to a book on Audible, or just kind of chill out, zone out. I was content with that, but I didn't have a lot of free time. I don't have a ton of free time anyway. So
Yeah.
I I do think this was way harder on Dan, especially since he wasn't going to work or anything. So
Yeah, this
I
would have been
was
harder on
literally in my
Dan.
house by myself. I had nothing to do.
Yeah, I think yeah, COVID aside, this would have been harder on Dan, but with COVID it was next to impossible.
yeah,
Cuz like
I'm
like you
not.
like
Go ahead.
well, I would say like we have a 6-month-old, so like I spend a lot of my time either like playing with the kids or doing other stuff or just like holding on to our child. So like, that takes up your,
Honestly, if I
holding on
had
to
a
her.
baby to hold and cuddle, I probably would have been fine.
I'm surprised you didn't like make a Wilson and like
Just
pluck
pick up like a
a bunch of
Kleenex
like
box and
dandelions
just
and like
like
yeah.
I'm glad you went back to your Magic the Gathering. I do know that's an important part of your life. I remember a conversation we had several years ago where we were again talking on the internet as we do, and you were just complaining to me and Travis like how you don't have a car and you wish you could buy a car, and then you're like, yeah, that sucks, man. And then in the very next breath, you said, "Oh, also I bought 10,000 Magic the Gathering cards yesterday."
Well,
So,
yeah,
and you-
but I mean,
It's an investment strategy,
know.
right?
yeah. So, well, I'm glad you found something to maintain your sanity. That's good.
And I'm glad you survived, Dan. We're glad you made it.
I made it.
Yeah. We should
more
have
or less.
invited you. We went to the zoo last weekend.
That's true.
My family,
Well,
and
what
Travis.
the heck, you guys?
We were not that far away from your house.
Yeah,
Oh
we were
my-
actually like, yeah, we're at the Como Zoo.
Dude, I literally been thinking about the zoo. I was thinking the zoo
Was-
would be awesome. Oh, you guys
The
are
zoo and then the
jerks.
conservatory.
We had COVID. We didn't want you to bring your
Yeah.
plague with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did have COVID, so that wouldn't have.
We don't know if gorillas can get COVID, and gorillas are worth more than we are, Dan.
I'm
so,
pretty sure gorillas can get everything can get COVID. It's just
Yeah.
that's
We
the
could have
scary
live
part
streamed
of
it for you though.
it's pretty
Just
exciting.
carry you around.
We took
All
all the
right.
kids. We went and got malts afterwards. It was pretty great. You missed
Hey,
that.
good, cool. That
Don't
sounds
rub
great.
it
That
in.
sounds really fun. I'm glad that you had so much fun in the real world, away from screens. I'm really glad that you had all that fun.
All right, should we get into the times? So I think
Yeah.
Dan, it sounds like maybe you lost.
I mean, okay, I'll tell you my
wanna give us-
time.
give me a breakdown. Give us a breakdown of kind of.
I can give you a breakdown. Okay. So I did say first day 1, 10 minutes of Reddit. And then I think 1 minute of trying to find the right YouTube video because I have it so this is a weird thing that I'm going to be saying to the world. So you know that TV show Home Movies with Brendan Small?
Yeah.
And
Sort of.
Coach McGurk.
Yeah.
I I tend to listen to that every night when I go to sleep, but I put it on and then I put the phone face down and listen to it because it's mostly
It's mostly just conversations.
mostly just conversation, and like I know the episodes pretty well, so like that's kind of my go-to sleep. So like I said 1 minute of finding the right home movies video, and then the next day I had 20 minutes of Reddit, and then I for the next week I just said 5 minutes of finding a YouTube video because I did a lot of backing tracks while I was playing my ukulele and different things. I just added up to like 5 minutes of finding YouTube videos. But like I'd find the video and then I'd turn the phone face down. So it was more audio. I mean, I wasn't watching the video. I don't know.
Yep. That's a lot.
It would be, I would say it was a few hours of YouTube, but I was not watching it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And then there's another 4 minutes, and then there's 2 hours and 20 minutes of Love, Death, and Robots. And then I added up another 5 minutes of YouTube searching for videos to listen to, not to watch. And then one day I had 20 minutes of Reddit. I think that was over lunch, and I was angry at the world again. And then I had there was one day I had 7 minutes that I read the news, and then at the end I just added up 15 minutes more of YouTube searching for audio to listen to. I just figured 15 minutes seemed about right.
Sure.
So total, that is 3 hours and 47 minutes. And I'm assuming that's probably more than you guys had. But that's what I got.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go ahead, Mike?
Yeah. All right. So I found that my biggest problem was when I pull out my phone without thinking of it and start trying to find something to do. So I deleted kind of my go-to time wasters like YouTube, and I like to poke around on Pinterest. So I deleted those from my phone so that they wouldn't come up, but I still had Amazon on there. So I basically could not stop myself from opening up my phone and like trying to find something to do and then poking around on Amazon before realizing what I was doing.
Yep.
So I spent 33 minutes roundabout poking around on Amazon. Then I put 10 minutes when I was on there trying to find some books to purchase and read, which I did last week. And I got 3 Rick and Morty comic books. And then I spent some time purchasing some jiu-jitsu belts, or one, actually. So that was about 5 minutes.
I thought you had to earn those.
You do, but you also have to buy them when you earn them.
Oh.
Both.
Both.
Okay.
You have to buy them and earn them. Also, it's a white belt, so you don't really have to earn that one. You only have to buy it.
Do I have a white belt in jiu-jitsu?
You sure do, bud.
Heck
Everyone
Hey,
does.
congrats.
Nice.
You did it. So anyway, so I counted 15 minutes of just getting movies going for the kids. So not that I watch them, but I'd spend like poking around on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. And then,
I don't think that counts.
well,
I did that once, but
Well, I did that, and then I would also like sit there and watch like the first, like 30 seconds of it, and then think to myself,
that might count.
Yeah,
Unacceptable.
so that's why I gave myself 15 minutes for that. And then social media stuff. I'm stalking our podcast on Twitter, so I can see if anybody's looking at us.
That doesn't count. I did that. Are we counting that? Because I did that as well.
I'll say I'm not
No.
counting the time that I put on our social media.
Okay.
No,
'cause I'm calling that
I
work.
stalked our podcast on Twitter, and I did not count it. I could
Okay.
count it. That would be another maybe 5 minutes.
All right, excellent.
well, let's toss that out.
Change that to a 0. Excellent. The other one, though, so my brother-in-law Sam had a beautiful baby girl last week, Daisy B. Adorable.
Oh, yes.
So I was looking at baby pictures on Snapchat, and I put 20 minutes for that. So my grand total in the end is 68 minutes. So 1 hour and 8 minutes for 2 weeks.
That's not bad. How would you say that compares to your regular?
I would say my regular is probably almost a day, like 20 hours a day.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, if I were to say if I was home with COVID for a week, that would be probably at least 12 hours every single day of screen time.
Yeah. I mean, there's days when I basically am on a screen only stopping to drive and sleep. So
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, that
All
is vastly smaller than usual. So all right,
Okay.
Travis.
Yeah, like I said, my biggest hang up for this was just like Googling things conveniently while I was out and about. So I Googled what wood chips are best for smoking trout when I was at Fleet Farm. It's cherry, cedar, and alder, if anybody's curious.
Oh.
And then I Googled how long to microwave eggs, and that's it. 2 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
That's it?
That can't
That's
be
it.
right.
No.
No way, dude. I don't believe it. There's got to be
And
more.
if I listened to books and podcasts, I consciously resisted. There were sometimes I was like, I would like to buy this thing on Amazon, and they're like, nope, I don't want to look at Amazon, or I didn't want to like open up my phone. So I consciously did not buy anything. Didn't even open up Amazon. Didn't watch anything on YouTube. I did, like I said, I put stuff onto our social media, but I called that work, and I didn't browse other people's stuff. I just put stuff out there, and that was it.
Are you kidding me?
That's
Nope.
that's
2
pretty
minutes?
impressive.
2 minutes.
I am very impressed. I gotta say, I mean, like literally first day I did 10 minutes.
I mean, I will say we did talk about this. We can record or count this, but the first day I was going to go metal detecting or fishing with a buddy, and actually I just ended up going by myself. But I spent 15 minutes on Onyx Maps just looking for like locations to go fishing or metal detecting.
Yeah, but we decided that was a tool to to use to, I mean, that's like using Google Maps to find your way, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you don't count that, it was just 2 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Jesus.
I like pretty much every day my phone was almost dead because I had basically books or podcasts going for like most of the time, but just go ahead.
I was just gonna say I also burned through a lot of podcasts. I almost caught completely up with Bim Bam. Like I've almost got done their whole spread, and
I was listening to Mission to Zix. You listen to that? That's pretty good.
No.
Yeah.
I listened to like
Yep.
the first season of that.
Oh, I never heard of it. Well,
That's
tell
like
me
a.
about it. Tell me about it later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll say I got through like the first book was like a 20-hour book on Audible, and then various podcasts, and then halfway through another book that's like 9 or 10 hours. And Holly and I were listening to Pride and Prejudice on Audible, and yeah, I just listened to a lot of stuff. I didn't look at anything.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, good job, there, Travis.
I feel like I am still like a slave to the screen at this point. Like I'm not even like, I don't know, man. I worked hard to get away from the screen, but like, man, was it hard. I don't know. I had a rough time with this challenge. I hated this challenge.
I knew that was gonna happen just because I know you, Dan, and I know like, and I've often been jealous of the amount of time that you have to spend playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This was 100% the hardest thing we've done so far. 100%.
Yeah, I would agree,
Easily
for sure.
by far.
Yeah,
for me, and I still failed more than you guys did.
And I'll say that, like, I was listening to like some video game podcasts about, video game development and stuff like that, or Triple Click, and like I like listening to other people talk about video games. Like, man, I would desperately like to play a video game right now. And it's like, nope, can't do that. So let's keep listening to it. So
yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of our honorific being Screenacus.
That's too bad, because that's what it is. It doesn't matter. That's what it is. I know. What did you? We came up with a bunch of really good ones that are better than Screenacus, but that's too bad, because that's what it is.
That night after we recorded, and I played Elden Ring for a bit, I put a thing in Discord, because of course after we stopped recording, I thought of like the Oracle of Truth, the All-Seeing One, Veil Piercer, the Wayfinder, but no, we're going with Screenacus.
Screenacus, yeah. I mean, it's grown on me.
Over the past 2 weeks, it's every time I've been thinking about it, like it just pops into my mind. I just start chuckling. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have a clear winner. Did we have any closing thoughts on this? I hated this, and I will go back to using the screen a lot, and I think that this is a waste of time, and I'm so sorry for anybody that joined us on this challenge. That's how I feel about this.
I don't know, man. I this was good for me. It was good for me to take a break and kind of reset. I think I legitimately have like a YouTube addiction, so like this was good to stay away from it, and but I am planning on going deep into a Y hole tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So
this is something that I'm definitely there's no way I'm gonna keep this up. It's absolutely no way. I'm gonna go straight back to how I was, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm just so disappointed in myself, and I'm disappointed in the concept of everything. I don't know.
For my final thoughts here, like, maybe you should entertain the idea of like trying one night a week without screens or something like that. Just something to like keep yourself from falling back into the old habits. Because like I said, we're trying to do 2 nights, and we'll see how long we keep it up. And like, if we have something scheduled, then we'll still meet or whatever. But I think that there is value in at least maintaining a consciousness of how how slavish we are to screens.
Yeah, I agree with you,
So-
Travis. Yeah.
Break free, Dan. I believe in you.
Maybe. 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 We'll see. I don't know. I'll give
right.
you an update in like a year of it's not going to be good. All right. Well, now announcing Travis Screenacus Rabin.
Thank you guys. Thanks everyone for listening. Contrary to what Dan's stance on this, I think there is value in giving it a shot to, break free from the screens, at least for a little bit. Maybe don't go 2 weeks because that is a long time and not very fun. But give it a shot and see what you think. I think there's genuine value there. So break free. Go look outside or look your loved ones in the eyes.
You did great.
Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
Job. Nothing illegal, but
I was gonna say there's a couple things I could probably say.
yeah. But like, and I'm talking any way to make money.